Over the years, Jacksonville has built the reputation as the deadliest city in Florida. There's been various gang wars fought there, leading to decades of senseless bloodshed. There's been one hood that's found themselves at the center of it from the very beginning. That hood has found themselves in the spotlight due to the shocking death of the person that made them famous. In this video, we'll be telling the story of 6 Block. 6 Block, made famous by the rapper Fulio, is a hood on the north side of Jacksonville in an area called 45th Street. Most people that claim 6 Block grew up in the Hilltop Village apartments on 1646 West 45th Street. Also, in the 45th Street area is the hood A Block on 45th and Avenue B. A Block and 6 Block are super close to each other. Many people that claim A Block also claim 6 Block, so I'll be discussing them in this video as well. Over the years, 6 Block has had deadly feuds with the gangs Head First from the Grand Park area of Jacksonville, ATK from the west side of Jacksonville and all of their affiliates, Sherwood, also known as Double O, T Block, and 1200/Cuckoo Gang from the east side of Jacksonville. 6 Block is known for being full of killers, so they've been targeted by the police for years. Many 6 Block members and people from the 45th Street area claimed a group called PCE, standing for Problem Child Entertainment, until they were hit by RICO charges for all of the murders and shootings that they were doing at the time. As a result, they probably have more locked up members than any other gang in Jacksonville. The streets are truly a curse and lead to nothing but death and jail. 6 Block has done so much in the streets that they are constantly dealing with the pain of death and incarceration. On April 15th, 2014, a 6 Block affiliate by the name of Aaron Brooks was in the area of Clyde Drive and 4th Avenue when gunshots erupted. For some reason, people in the area that heard the gunshots did not report them to the police. Hours later, as some kids were walking to school, Aaron's body was found. The kids found him on the ground, lifeless in the backyard of a house. Aaron was pronounced dead at just 17 years old. Aaron was from Clyde Drive, but was friends with many people from 6 Block. Fulio said in an interview that Aaron was the first friend that he lost to gun violence. Unfortunately, this trend would only continue. On June 25th, 2014, a member of 6 Block by the name of Vonte, real name Vonte Robinson, was allegedly sliding on members of Head First with his associates. The Head First members that he was trying to take out allegedly started shooting back, and Vonte was hit multiple times. The people that were in the car with Vonte ended up pushing him out of the car and leaving him for dead in the middle of the street. According to United States law, if you commit a crime with another person and that person gets killed in the process by someone acting out of self-defense, you can be charged with their murder even if you weren't the one responsible. That is most likely the reason why Vonte's friends allegedly betrayed him. Vonte's body would be discovered at around 10:30 p.m. and he was pronounced dead at just 18 years old. Afterwards, the set Vonte Land was created in his honor. Unfortunately, another 6 Block member would lose his life shortly after this incident, allegedly in connection with it. On July 10, 2014, just after 2:30 a.m., police were dispatched to Detail Drive off Cleveland Road in reference to a shooting. Upon their arrival, they found an individual lying at the end of the driveway right by the street, suffering from a gunshot wound. The victim was identified as a 6 Block member nicknamed Durk, real name Jonathan Thomas, and he was pronounced dead on the scene at just 16 years old. It's rumored that he was one of the people in the car on the drill gone wrong when Vonte died. It's believed that he was allegedly killed by another one of the people in that car because they're afraid that he was gonna snitch on them. This theory has never been confirmed as Durk's killer was never identified. Following the death of Durk, 6 Block would ramp up the amount of shootings that they were doing. On December 10, 2014, a member of Head First named Big Baby, real name Devron Crowden, was standing at a bus stop waiting to be taken to school when over 15 shots rang off. He was struck multiple times and was declared dead at just 16 years old. It's believed that members of 6 Block were responsible for this murder. In fact, people in Jacksonville originally thought that Fulio was the person responsible since he started dissing Big Baby on Facebook as soon as news of his death broke out. That same day, Fulio was shot in the hip leaving school by a member of Head First, but he ultimately survived his injuries. About 3 months after this, something would happen that sent shockwaves throughout Jacksonville. On March 19, 2015, a 6 Block member named Kendre A and another person were allegedly armed driving in a stolen vehicle in front of Hilltop Cemetery when a police officer pulled up. Kendre was driving and the other person was the passenger. The police officer claimed that Kendre rammed his car into the police car, then took off running with the passenger. The officer said that both Kendre and the passenger had guns, but the passenger eventually dropped his. The officer then claimed that Kendre pointed his gun towards him, causing him to shoot Kendre multiple times, killing him. Kendre was just 16 years old at the time of his death. This incident sent shockwaves throughout Jacksonville, as many people felt that the officer's statement was a lie and that he didn't need to use deadly force. Ultimately, the officer was cleared of any punishment for this shooting. Kendre was mourned heavily throughout Jacksonville, and even 6 Block's ops said that they don't diss him due to the fact that he was killed by the police. 6 Block would allegedly spend the rest of 2015 committing multiple heinous murders. On November 3, 2015, Head First members Amp and Bando and 3 others were hanging out on Ellis Street near King Road next to a ditch. Some were sitting in a car and the others were standing around in the open. About 15 minutes later, a loud tire screech could be heard as a red Toyota Corolla with a blue passenger door pulled up and opened fire on all 5 of the people hanging out outside. Once the gunfire came to an end, Amp was lying in a ditch, face down floating in the water. Amp was pulled out of the water and died at the scene at just the age of 18. Bando wouldn't be found until the next day. He was found lying face down in a ditch at just 19 years old. Police believe there were multiple people inside the Corolla, but are unsure how many of them fired shots. It's widely believed that members of 6 Block were the ones responsible for these murders. On December 3, 2015, police were called to the scene near Franklin Street after reports of gunfire. Witnesses told detectives that a dark Toyota Camry drove by the intersection once, then returned and stopped. That's when a man rolled down a rear passenger window and fired a rifle. A neighbor said she counted 2 bursts of shots, the second one as many as 10. Witnesses said they saw people running in several directions as the Camry fled north on Franklin. Police said they found a blood trail leading from the front of the home to the rear. On the front porch, the police found a young man shot to death. The man was identified as a 1200 member by the name of Suge, real name Avery McKnight, who was only 19 years old at the time of his death. 2 other men were with him during this incident and they were shot as well, however they survived their injuries. The shooters in this incident have never been caught, but it's believed that members of 6 Block were allegedly responsible. Shortly after this, one of the most tragic things in Jacksonville history would happen. On January 29, 2016, 2 6 Block members named Cracker Jack and JB would come after a 1200 member and rapper named Guapo with the Choppa. On that day, the mother of baby Aiden, named Tamisha Brown, testified that she picked up her grandmother from work and drove to the grandmother's home on Sparring Street. Her grandmother sat in the back seat with Aiden. When Miss Brown pulled into the front yard of the house, she was greeted by her cousin Wappa. Soon after, a white vehicle pulled in behind her, and the occupants of that vehicle began to shoot at them, trying to hit Wappa. Several shots struck Miss Brown's vehicle. Miss Brown saw a darker complexioned black male with a gun in the front seat of the white vehicle, wearing a mask. A young, lighter complexioned black male was leaning out of the rear passenger side shooting a handgun. Ms. Brown cannot identify the mass shooter, but she identified Crackerjack as the shooter in the rear passenger side. Ms. Brown drove away quickly to escape the gunfire. She then realized that her 22-month-old son Aiden had been shot. She immediately took him to the hospital, but tragically, he would pass away from his injuries. He was only 22 months old. Crackerjack and JB would eventually be charged with this murder, and they were both sentenced to life in prison. The beef between 6 Block and ATK would really escalate following the death of Zion Brown, also known as Tweak and Jit. At the time, ATK referred to themselves as Youngin Gang. On May 27, 2017, at 1:35 a.m., police responded to a report of a person shot in a home in Jacksonville. At the scene, police discovered 3 victims suffering from gunshot wounds: an 18-year-old male, a 16-year-old female, and a 9-year-old girl. That night, a Youngin Gang member named Shorty, real name Deon Thomas, broke into the house of Zion Brown with the intention of killing him. Once inside, Trey shot Zion and the 2 girls inside the house. The girls were 16 and 9 years old. Zion would die from his injuries at just 18 years old. The 2 girls survived their injuries, and one of them identified Shorty as being the shooter. Trey was sentenced to life in prison for this murder. Zion Brown was the cousin of Fulio. This would mark the beginning of the senseless bloodshed between ATK and 6 Block.
Because you're playing with fire. The PCE is the most violent, most heavily armed gang in Jacksonville right now. Do you think them people are going to stop? We're here today at an expedited rate because me and my bosses were nervous that they were actually coming.
I got a question. No.
Blood for blood, right? That's one of the laws of the street. Blood for blood. You really think?
I'm not in the streets.
Do you really think PCE wants us to arrest Deon Thomas? Do you think they wanted us to arrest him for the murder of Zion Brown? Do you think that's what they wanted us to do? Hell no. They wanted his ass right there on the street so they could take care of him themselves. Whatever y'all did to them, and Zion came down, because you know as well as I did, y'all know who shot your boy.
I promise to you, I would run. I don't know nobody from PC. I don't know no people.
Why are they beefing with Trey?
Only person I know is Fulio, and that's just because he rap.
Charles Jones.
Yeah, I don't know because he rap. You know what I'm saying? It's like a song.
On September 12, 2017, a rapper from 6 Block named Lil Jug was at the Hilltop apartment complex when 2 masked gunmen approached him and opened fire. Jug, real name Devin Gualdine, would be pronounced dead from his injuries at just 29 years old. Fulio said in an interview that Lil Jug was someone that he looked up to and that Jug helped him build a name in the city by doing a song with him. Unfortunately, the tragedies would continue for 6 Block after this. On March 19, 2018, a member of 6 Block named Nooski, real name Darius Anderson, was on Fredericksburg Avenue with members of Sherwood/00 when they got into a shootout with another group. 6 Block and Sherwood were cool with each other at this time. During this shootout, Nooski was allegedly shot by accident by one of the people that he was with. Nooski was taken to the hospital where he would be pronounced dead at just 21 years old. This incident allegedly started the beef between Sherwood and 6 Block. On June 5, 2018, famous Jacksonville rapper and ATK member Youngin Ace decided to go to the Wasabi Steakhouse in order to celebrate his best friend Royale Smith, nicknamed 23's birthday. On the way out, Ace hopped inside of a car with 23, his blood brother Trayvon Bullard, nicknamed Quan, and his friend Jacoby Groover, nicknamed 4. As they were driving home, while stopped at a red light, a car pulled up next to them and opened fire, letting off over 100 shots. Tragically, Youngin Ace would be the only person to survive this incident, as the 3 other people in the car passed away. 23 and Quan were just 18 years old, and 4 was just 19 years old. It's rumored that there were 3 gunmen for the shooting and 1 driver. It's widely believed that 6 Block was responsible for this incident. Currently, an ATK affiliate named Busta, real name Dominic Barner, has agreed to be an informant. In an interview with prosecutors, he told them that a 6 Block member named P Money was allegedly one of the gunmen that carried out the shooting. Busta openly told prosecutors that P Money and his crew were the ones that shot Youngin Ace and killed his blood brother and 2 close friends. Another 6 Block member named Trey D was rumored to have allegedly been another one of the gunmen during this incident, and he would lose his life just 6 weeks later. On July 23, 2018, a member of 6 Block named Trey D and other 6 Block members such as Bibby, Mitch, and Kenny K decided to go to a yearly reunion held in 1200 territory. A few years prior, members of 1200 went to a reunion in the 45th Street area and taunted their ops, so 6 Block members wanted to do the same thing. This was enemy territory, so they were taking a big risk by going there. Allegedly, an argument occurred between 6 Block and 1200 members when gunfire erupted. Witnesses claimed that they heard 25 to 30 shots as the crowd took off running. Once the gunfire came to an end, Trey D was discovered lying dead on the ground at just the age of 21. Police recovered 45 shell casings on the scene. It's widely believed that Trey D was allegedly killed by members of 1200, and they would brag about killing him in songs and on social media. However, no one has ever been charged with this murder. This was a big loss for 6 Block, as Trey D was a beloved member and was known for being one of 6 Block's main shooters. As a result, 6 Block members were hungry for revenge. Shortly after Trey D's death, 2 1200 members named CP3 and the rapper Lil Papa and one of their friends would all get shot in the same incident. They would all survive their injuries, but CP3 and the friend were seriously injured. It's widely believed that members of 6 Block were allegedly responsible for this shooting. Soon after this, 6 Block members would allegedly kill a beloved member of 1200. On August 24, 2018, a 6 Block member named Bibby, real name Adrian Gaynor, and another 6 Block member by the name of Kenny Caps, real name Robert Howard, attended a football game at Rains High School. During the football game, a fight broke out between them and members of 1200 that were there as well. All of them were kicked out of the game and were lingering around in the parking lot. Eventually, as tension built in the parking lot, gunfire erupted. As the gunfire came to an end, a member of 1200 named Spaz, real name Gerard Adams, was located deceased at the scene with a single gunshot wound. Another male victim and female victim were located with gunshot wounds and transported to local area hospitals for treatment. One of the victims originally stated to police that Kenny shot him. 2 witnesses came forward and stated that they saw Kenny with a firearm on the night of the incident. Both of the witnesses would later go on to recant their statements that Kenny was the shooter and refused to testify. In fact, one of the witnesses was arrested for perjury for doing so. A member of 1200 named Will was accused of being one of the witnesses that snitched on Kenny. Kenny was charged with 1 count of second-degree murder and 2 counts of attempted murder for this incident. However, multiple years into his sentence, Kenny's charges were downgraded to manslaughter, and his sentence was reduced to 5 years in prison. He was released in 2023, but was locked up again in July of 2024 for selling drugs to an undercover police officer. On January 16, 2019, a man named Willie Addison, rap name Boss Goon, was leaving the Paradise Gentlemen's Club after a music event. He was leaving the event riding in a Chevrolet Tahoe with 5 other people inside when another car pulled up beside them and someone inside opened fire. All 6 people in the car were shot, but Willie was the only one who suffered life-threatening injuries. The occupants of the vehicle rushed to Memorial Hospital, where Willie would be pronounced dead at just 25 years old, while the other 5 victims survived. Willie was the brother of the popular ATK/NHG member and rapper named Queso. Queso's father, nicknamed Blue, real name Vonte Robinson, was Willie's stepfather and was one of the people in the car when it got shot up. Blue was shot in the back but survived his injuries. Blue is currently in jail, facing accessory to murder charges for a murder that will be discussed later. He recently told police that he thought the 6 Block member P Money was one of the people involved in the murder of Willie. On February 25, 2019, two ATK members with the reputations of being killers by the name of Queso and Scotty allegedly spotted two 6 Block members named Bibby and Pop Out hanging out under a gazebo. According to a witness cooperating with the police, the witness stated that they were contacted by Queso to check out some drug houses in the 45th Street area. Queso allegedly picked up the witness in a gray Nissan Altima, and Scotty was also allegedly in the car. They then went to pick up an ATK affiliate named Rollo, and Rollo then hopped into the driver's seat. They drove back and forth for a while until Queso allegedly told Rollo to drive to the Hilltop Apartments. At Hilltop, once they spotted Bibby and Pop Out, Queso and Scotty allegedly hopped out of the vehicle carrying firearms. Scotty had a long AR rifle and Queso had an AR pistol. They both allegedly opened fire, and Pop Out and Bibby ran in opposite directions. Scotty allegedly chased after Pop Out but was unable to successfully kill him as he was able to escape. Meanwhile, Queso allegedly chased down Bibby until he fell down to the ground. Queso allegedly then walked up to Bibby and shot him in the back of the head, leaving him dead at the scene. Bibby was only 16 years old at the time of his death. Queso is currently locked up, awaiting trial for the murder of Bibby. On March 10, 2019, Young and Ace and his crew were in a parking lot at a Hampton Inn in Waycross, Georgia, when they were ambushed by multiple shooters. Queso and Scotty were there and shot back at their attackers, leading to a shootout. As the gunfire came to an end, police found 30-year-old ATK member Rollo near the hotel's pool area. Rollo had multiple gunshot wounds to his body and was pronounced dead shortly after. It's widely believed that members of 6 Block were responsible for this murder. ATK would soon allegedly avenge this murder. 2 months after this, in May of 2019, a 6 Block member named Tiki was shot. He was reportedly hospitalized in critical condition for up to a week before ultimately passing away on May 7, 2019 at just 19 years old. It's rumored that Tiki was allegedly one of the people involved in the death of Rollo. ATK has repeatedly claimed responsibility for the death of Tiki. On August 8, 2019, two members of 1200 named Leaky and John Akafool were hanging out outside when a white van with black writing on the side pulled up beside them. The person in the van opened fire on them, and tragically, John was shot in the head and declared dead at the scene at just 17 years old. Leaky, who was also 17 years old at the time, was shot 10 or 11 times but survived his injuries. Paperwork would later be released by the police claiming that a member of 6 Block named Rasta was one of the primary suspects for this murder. According to the paperwork, a random inmate agreed to tell police information about John's murder. The inmate told police that Rasta had been bragging about killing John, and that Rasta said he killed John because John and his friends allegedly robbed one of Rasta's trap houses. The inmate would later switch up his statement and refuse to wear a wire, so there wasn't enough evidence to charge Rasta. Rasta is currently serving 20 years in prison for attempted murder charges from a different incident. On January 15, 2020, a Jacksonville police officer observed an unknown suspect at 7001 Mural Road standing over and shooting a male victim, later identified as 6 Block member Little Buck. Little Buck died as a result of the gunshot wounds that he sustained. There was one shooter in this incident. There were 2 other people waiting in the car for him. Once the shooter ran back to the car, they drove away to escape the police officer. Once past a certain point, one of the people ran in one direction while the other 2 broke into a woman's house to change clothes. Inside the house, they called someone to pick them up. The person that they called to pick them up from the crime scene was the father of ATK rapper Queso named Blue. Blue arrived shortly after and drove them away. Both Queso, his brother Crazy K, Dominique Barner, and another ATK member named Scotty are currently charged with the murder of Little Buck and awaiting trial. Busta is snitching in this case and told police that Queso was the shooter. Busta admitted that Queso targeted Buck because he made a song dissing Willie. Blue is also snitching in this case and identified his own son as being the shooter.
In this case, you've had an opportunity with your attorney to watch what I'll refer to as a dash cam video, a video that actually recorded the murder of Charles McCormick. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you've watched that?
Yes, sir.
Did you recognize the shooter?
Yes, sir.
Who was the shooter in that video?
Hakeem Robinson.
Your son, Hakeem Robinson.
Yes, sir.
On February 23, 2020, a man named Darius Pratt was in the 7900 block of Concord Boulevard East in the Lake Forest neighborhood when a gunman pulled up and shot him. Darius would be pronounced dead at the scene at just 25 years old. He was the brother of an ATK member named 300 Blow. Fulio admitted in a song that 6 Block killed Darius because they couldn't get to his brother. On March 19, 2020, an attempt on the life of a 6 Block member and rapper named Shorty was made. On this day, Shorty and his girlfriend, 17-year-old Anandi Weish, were driving home from a date when a gray car stopped in front of them and 2 males got out and opened fire. Shorty would survive this incident with minimal injuries. However, Anandi would be pronounced dead at the scene. The 2 shooters were members of Sherwood/00. Once the 2 shooters were caught, the police would go through their text messages, and they discovered texts that one of the shooters sent saying that they targeted Shorty because they believed that he was the one that killed their friend, 20-year-old Daquan Saxton. Daquan Saxton, nicknamed Swift Jit, was a member of Sherwood/00 and was shot and killed 2 days prior to Anandi's death. On May 3, 2020, at around 2:30 p.m., a member of A Block named PD, renamed Antoine Williams, and 3 other men were sitting in a car in the 2100 block of Brooklyn Road when a gunman hopped out of a white Kia sedan and began shooting at them. Jacksonville Sheriff's Office said that a gunfire detection system picked up at least 33 shots fired during the incident. Investigators later said more than 50 total shots were fired. Petey was shot and killed at just 18 years old, and the 3 other people with him that day were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The shooter hopped back into the white sedan and got away. It is widely rumored that he was allegedly killed by a member of 1200 named Leaky. However, this has never been officially confirmed. On June 26, 2020, a member of 1200 named Busta was shot and killed while on Philip Randolph Boulevard. It is widely believed that members of 6 Block were responsible for this murder, as they would constantly brag about it in songs. On August 9, 2020, a member of A Block named Mooki, renamed Marcus Jackson, was driving on the freeway on Interstate 95 and Dunn Avenue when a car pulled up next to him and opened fire. Mooki was hit and crashed his car. He was rushed to the hospital, where he was pronounced dead at just 22 years old. 1200 members diss him constantly and claim responsibility for his death on songs and on social media. On September 2, 2020, at about 1:30 a.m., Leaky was driving a car at the intersection of Atlantic Boulevard and Monument Road when another car pulled up beside him and opened fire. Leaky's car was riddled with bullets, and he was taken to a hospital with life-threatening injuries, where he passed away at just 18 years old. It is widely believed that members of 6 Block and A Block were responsible for his death, and they did it as get back for PD. On November 19, 2020, Jacksonville Sheriff's Office were called to investigate a shooting in the Moncrief neighborhood. The shooting occurred at the Hilltop Village Apartments, which is known to be the primary area where members of 6 Block are from. Officers in Jacksonville Fire Rescue responded to the area for a reported shooting around 7:45 p.m. Upon arrival, a 6 Block member named Spaz 2 times was found with at least 1 gunshot wound. The police said he died at the scene. There are many rumors going around surrounding his death. Some believe that he was allegedly killed by members of 1200. Members of 1200 would claim responsibility for his death. Meanwhile, 6 Block member and rapper Shorty said that Spaz 2 times was killed by a baser, which is another word for a crackhead. To this day, nothing has been officially confirmed, as the person or people responsible have not been caught. On November 21st, 2020, a member of Vonte Land, an affiliate of 6 Block named Rod K, real name Gerard Bell, was shot and killed. It's rumored that he was accidentally shot by his people while on a drill, and they abandoned him out of fear of being arrested. This rumor has never been proven, as no one has been charged for his death. Rod K was just 22 years old when he passed away. In my opinion, he genuinely had the talent to be a superstar rapper, but unfortunately lost his life too soon. Following these 2 back-to-back losses, 6 Block would allegedly go on a mission to take out 1200 members. On the night between February 20th and February 21st, 2021, 2 1200 members named Michi and B5 were shot and killed. Michi and B5 were OGs in 1200 and were involved in the management that represented the rappers from 1200. In fact, Michi was considered the boss. Michi and B5 were in Orlando for a Lil Durk concert that was happening that night. Unbeknownst to them, multiple members of 6 Block were allegedly there as well. After the concert, Michi and B5 were driving to Wendy's when a car pulled up next to them and opened fire. Michi and B5 were both shot multiple times, and their car crashed into a bus stop near a Wendy's next to the intersection of East Colonial Drive and Brumby Avenue. Both of them were declared dead at the scene. It is widely believed that members of 6 Block were responsible for this incident, and they would claim responsibility in songs and on social media. On September 28, 2021, famous 1200 rapper Benz was driving in a car with a member of 1200 named Greenlight and another member of 1200 named No Face. They were sitting in a Dodge Challenger outside Raceway gas station on Lenox Avenue when a black Range Rover Evoque pulled up and people inside opened fire on them. Benz and Greenlight ran into the gas station, but No Face was left behind. The Range Rover sped off. Benz and Greenlight went back to the Dodge Challenger and drove to the emergency room. No Face was shot in the head and was pronounced dead at the hospital. 2 6 Block members named Shorty and 2 Foe are charged with second-degree murder and 2 counts of attempted murder for this incident. On January 5th, 2022, a member of T Block named Wix Creep, real name Vonte Robinson, was in front of a convenience store on Powers Avenue when multiple gunmen pulled up in 2 white vehicles. The gunmen got out of the vehicles and shot him multiple times. Wix was pronounced dead at just 22 years old. 2 members of A Block named Toto and Kel were arrested and charged with this murder. On January 28, 2022, a member of A Block named Mitch, real name LaShawn Hall, was shot and killed. Famous 1200 rapper J. Breezy stated in a song that Mitch was killed because Shorty was locked up and couldn't be reached.
Free that Shorty out them gates, he gon' be a murder case, he locked up, so for that, nigga Mitch had to pay.
The bloodshed from 6 Block's beefs would die down a little bit until around April of 2023, when members and affiliates of 6 Block took a picture at the gravesite of a deceased ATK member named 23. This caused ATK and NHG members to swear payback. Following that picture, a 6 Block affiliate named YBZ was shot and killed on May 17, 2023. Members of ATK and NHG claimed responsibility for that murder. After that, a 6 Block affiliate named Jake Jit was shot and killed on August 16, 2023 while driving on the highway. ATK and NHG members once again claimed responsibility and hinted that the graveyard picture was their motivation. A month after that, in September of 2023, an A Block member named G3 was arrested and charged with the murder of a Sherwood/00 member named KP. After that, an attempt would be made on the life of Fulio. In October of 2023, immediately following the death of an ATK affiliate named Tilly, Fulio was shot the same night. On that day, he was in the 3100 block of 18th Street, driving to the gas station to buy a vape when the black Dodge Charger he was driving was shot up. The passenger side window and the windshield were shot up, but miraculously, Fulio was only struck once in the foot. He was able to drive himself to the hospital and had non-life-threatening injuries. The injury he sustained to his foot was bad, and a picture of it surfaced online, but it's way too graphic to show on YouTube. Members of ATK and NHG hinted at being responsible. 2 months after that, 6 Block would take another loss. On Tuesday, December 12, 2023, a 6 Block affiliate named Rico Osama was at a studio on the west side of Jacksonville. The west side of Jacksonville is where ATK and NHG are from. As he was leaving the studio, a gunman wearing all black and a ski mask popped up and opened fire. Rico and 2 other people were shot. This brazen attack was carried out in broad daylight around 4 p.m. The 2 other people shot are believed to be innocent and were caught in the crossfire. All 3 were taken to the hospital where Rico was pronounced dead at just 21 years old, while the other 2 underwent surgery and survived. 6 months after this, 6 Block would take their biggest loss. On June 14, 2024, Fulio posted a photo on Instagram promoting a birthday celebration that he would be having in Tampa, Florida on June 22nd. In the comment section of that picture, nearly every single person was warning him to cancel the event since they predicted that his ops would try to ambush him now that they knew his location and had a week to prepare. Tampa is only a 3-hour drive from Jacksonville, so all of the people that wanted to kill him could use the week's notice to easily set out their preparations. A week later, the day of the celebration finally arrived. On the night of June 22nd, Fulio was partying with people at an Airbnb in Tampa celebrating his birthday. He was posting his location throughout the whole night on his Instagram story and giving live updates. Due to the party, he and his associates got kicked out of the Airbnb. Fulio then posted about this and also posted that he and his group were now heading to the club event that he had previously promoted. Fulio went to the event and had a good time. Once he left, it was now around 4 a.m. and he couldn't book a new Airbnb, so he went to a Holiday Inn. His vehicle was followed from the show to the Holiday Inn. As soon as he got to the Holiday Inn, him and his group were ambushed by 3 gunmen. Fulio's group was in 2 cars and both cars were shot up. Fulio and 3 other people were shot. Fulio was pronounced dead on the scene, and the 3 other people were rushed to the hospital and survived their injuries. Recently, 4 people were arrested in connection to the murder of Fulio, and 1 person is still on the run for it. Isaiah Chance, who goes by the rap name Gutta Zay, is an affiliate of both 1200 and ATK. Alicia Andrews is Gutta's girlfriend, and they are both accused of following Fulio around the night of his death and dropping his location to the shooters. The 3 people accused of shooting Fulio are Sean Gaithright, Rashad Murphy, and Davion Murphy. Both of the Murphys are members of 1200 and are related to the 1200 member Spaz that I talked about earlier. Sean Gaithright's gang affiliation is unknown, but he was charged with a triple shooting in Oxford, Mississippi in 2023. At the time of making this video, all of them are in custody except Davion, as he's still on the run. The police have stated that all of them are facing life in prison, even the 2 that didn't pull a trigger. Following the death of Fulio, more bloodshed would occur. On June 28, 2024, an affiliate of 1200 named Fizzle, renamed Darius Beals, was in the parking lot of an apartment complex in Orange Park when he was shot and killed. He was just 29 years old. Fizzle was the older brother of the well-known 1200 member Leaky. Members of 6 Block and A Block would diss Fizzle on social media and claim that his death was get back for Fulio. They have also promised further retaliation. It's depressing to see just how much violence is occurring in Jacksonville on a regular basis. Pray for the city of Jacksonville. RIP to everyone that passed away in this video. Let me know what you guys think about this situation in the comment section, and please be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.